Hey guys, welcome back to I Watch a Lot of Movies because I watch a lot of movies. Um, I had a little bit of an issue with that last video. I was thinking of redoing it, but it's a lot of work to go through. But if you noticed, there was like a big glare, probably comes from this ceiling light that I was directly under. Um, so I moved locations. I'm at my desk now, and if the light ever bothers the video here, um, it has a dimmer on it, so I can always change the lighting. Um, so I'm just gonna go over the movies that I saw since Friday. Um, I finally saw Old by M. Night Shyamalan. Yeah, there's that glare again a little bit. Hold on, let me see if I can adjust that real quick. There we go. Okay. So basically, the light needs to be off. All right. So this movie's by M. Night Shyamalan. I believe it came out this year, back in I think the summer. I mean, M. Night Shyamalan movies, they can either be really good or really bad depending on which ones. Like my favorite's always been like The Sixth Sense, Signs. I liked Signs a lot until they showed the creature at the end. That kind of spoiled it. I would have liked it if they didn't show it at all, but that's just my opinion. But this one and was it The Visit that he did? Those two are probably two of the best ones in the last few years. But yeah, it's really good. It's not predictable at the end. Like there's a twist and you don't see it coming. But yeah, it was pretty good for what it was. And then we're gonna go on to Megan is Missing. I watched this yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. This movie's a trip. It's a found footage movie, but it's not really found footage because it's basically footage taken from the local news crew in the movie. They're like computer cameras and cell phones, and I think one of the girls has a old camcorder. But yeah, it's a pretty good movie. It has one scene in it that's like whoa, but other than that, it's kind of predictable. But don't get me wrong, it was still good. Good. At first, it kind of reminded me of that movie Searching, which was more of a drama thriller POV style. With I always forget his name. He actually went to my high school 2 years before I did. But basically Harold from Harold and Kumar. But yeah, really good movie. And then the other three I watched on streaming services because I don't have them. One of them I watched was The Harder They Fall. That's a new Western on Netflix with Idris Elba. Forget who else was in it. Idris Elba, Regina Hall, some of the other guys I recognize too. Forget their names, but they're all really good actors. And usually when you've seen Westerns in the last, I don't know, 10, 20 years maybe, it's usually just basically all white people, except for, Django Unchained. Because that was about him. But this movie, it was all black actors, and it was really cool. Or African American, sorry. But I thought it was really good. It was up there like with kind of remind me a lot of Tombstone, Quick and the Dead, and maybe a little. Well, no, not Django Unchained because that had nothing to do with the housing or anything. But yeah, it has that classic Western feel to it, and the set pieces for the buildings, it almost looks like if you ever watched a Western show, like TV show back in the day, and you saw the facades of the buildings, and it was just, basically just a piece of wood. For certain angles in the movie, that's what they look like, but they're actually they're actual buildings. But it was a really good movie. Starts out kind of grim, but for something of a journey to happen, there has to be an incident in the beginning, usually some sort of trauma, drama, death, whatever, and then you get to the conclusion that way. But it was a really good movie. The acting was really good. The action was really good. And in the end, it tied up in a nice bow. I'd like to see a sequel if they ever think of doing one. Okay, the next movie that I saw was Found Footage 3D. That was on Shudder. Horror movie, of course. It's a found footage POV style. Basically, it's this guy who wants to do a POV found footage movie, but somehow he wants to make it in 3D. I don't know how, but he said that he had like these special cameras and lenses and stuff, and that part doesn't make much sense, but it's kind of funny because the story that they've set up to create the dark entity or whatever's haunting them actually becomes the incident that happens to them. So it's pretty good. I like how that's kind of set up like a parallel and then crossing over, and basically taking over the film. Had some good scares in it. And number one, it was in 2D. It wasn't in 3D. It's just the title of the movie because that's what he's trying to do. But it was pretty good. For a POV movie that I've never heard of, really good. And the last movie that I watched today was on, I think it was on Netflix. Yeah. Incident in a Ghostland. This movie is a roller coaster, and like not the bad kind, like the really good kind. It is a horror movie. At first, it doesn't really seem like one. It seems more of a thriller. But basically, it's about this mother that moves into her sister's house, who I guess passed away, with her two daughters. And like the day that they're unpacking, they're attacked by these two guys, and they survive, barely, and like years later, it flash forwards into the future, where the one daughter is still suffering from the trauma of it, so she's like kept in the basement because she's like nuts and she screams all the time of the house, and the mother still lives there, but the other daughter, she's gone off and become an author, become kind of famous about writing basically scary stories, or scary books. But there's a couple of twists in it, and they're really good twists. Like I didn't see them coming at all. It's a really good movie. I think it came out in 2018. I never heard of it till today, because it had been a while since I checked Netflix for any movies. I mean, I checked it originally because The Harder They Fall was on. I want to watch that, but then I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta watch this. So yeah, highly recommend that movie. If you're afraid of dolls, whatever that phobia is, don't watch it. Yeah, because there are some incidences with dolls in that movie. But otherwise, really good movie. A couple of brutal scenes in it, but not what you're thinking of. Not that kind of brutal. Just violence, basically. But really good. I want to buy it in the future. Add it to my collection because it's really good. Found footage, I would buy that for $10 or less. The Harder They Fall, I'd probably buy that for $15. And then I have Megan is Missing and Old, of course. But that's my update for today. I will update you guys on Friday of what I watched up until Friday. And on Wednesdays, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 times a week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday, I'll tell you what I watched over the weekend, and if I have any any recommendations. Wednesday, I'll show you some of my movies, either box sets. I'll probably go through my box sets first, just because they're all together, and then we'll work through the 4Ks and so on. And then Friday, I'll do another video about telling you what I watched and what I recommend. But I think that's it for today, guys. Just a short little video. I watched more in October, of course, because of horror movies, but now it's like a mixture. I think I'm gonna watch Free Guy tomorrow. I haven't seen it yet. I got it a couple of weeks ago. I think I even got it on 4K. But I love Ryan Reynolds, and I heard that some of my favorite YouTubers are in it. So I was like, sweet, can't get any better than that. And it's action, gaming, comedy thing. So I was like, okay, sounds good. I'm in. But other than that, guys, if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. If you have any recommendations for me to watch that I can stream off of Shudder, Netflix, HBO, whatever, and then give my review on it, let me know too. And I think that's it. Yeah. So please like, follow, and share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.